So yeah, it's another edition of our prediction show, and yeah, we're kicking on strong from last time, where most of our picks were actually kind of accurate. I remember one of us saying Watkins was definitely going to score, and also some over 2.5 selections as well were pretty solid. And I'm hoping we can continue that this time around. Victor, I hope you're in the best frame of mind after Liverpool's recent result. I hope you're in the best frame of mind to give us your best predictions.
It's not
All
the end
right.
of the world.
Oh yeah, sure, sure, definitely. Anyways, March week 26 promises to be exciting. Actually, this is the first time in a long time that it is rather difficult to call a straight win selection because the games are rather tricky if you look at it. But regardless, I have some straight win selections in mind, but it'll be nice to hear yours first.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I'm looking at Brighton at Southampton, obviously.
Yeah.
It's priced at 1.6. So I know it's bordering on that red flag territory, 160 to 185. But this rather applies when the favorites play at home. So I don't see it falling in that category because this one's at St. Mary's. At the same time, Brighton have only lost two of their last 11 games, one of them being that freak 7-0 against Forest. The other one, it was a 1-0 home loss to a Moyes boosted Everton. I don't think Southampton are nowhere near good enough to cope with Mitoma. And while it might not be a landslide 4-5-0 win, I still think Brighton comes out on top.
Yeah, fair enough.
Um, yeah, another outright I'm looking at. I'm going with Spurs for winning at Ipswich. It's at 1.95. I know it might sound off, but hear me out here. Ipswich have conceded exactly 2 goals per game on average in the Prem this season, 50 and 25 games. Spurs have scored 49 and 25. It's almost poetic, yeah. I know
Hmm.
Delap can be dangerous, and don't get me wrong, I rate the kid, but for all their attacking endeavor, Ipswich have only scored 23 league goals this season. They're actually the second worst attacking team in the Prem behind Southampton. Sure, they might get a goal in this time, but I'm quite confident the Spurs score at least twice, especially now with Madison back in.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Which
Honestly,
one are you
I
looking
think
at?
yeah. Funny enough, I had three selections for my straight win picks, and two of them actually coincided with yours. I had
Hmm.
Brighton at Southampton. I had Spurs at Ipswich as well, and my third one was Bournemouth at Wolves. Bournemouth have been one of the solid sides of 2025 so far, and their attacking firepower. I think Wolves can definitely trouble them, but their attacking firepower is just going to be too much for Wolves, and I think we are going to see a game where Bournemouth probably win by a goal or two. I would have been tempted to say Arsenal can beat West Ham at home as well. I mean, but then given the lack of a striker these days, you don't know what to get. So I'll rather play it safe on that
Yeah,
particular fixture.
I actually have this one in my notes as a don't, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
trying to poke fun at Arsenal or anything, but I would
Hmm.
stay away from backing them to win. I think they'll have proper trouble in this one, especially because of how blunt they are in attack. The odds are at 1.27 right now for an outright for them, in case you're interested, but I, for one, will definitely be looking elsewhere.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. I agree with that one too. Moving on to the goal selection. Do you have any games in mind for over 2.5 or under 2.5?
Yeah, I actually have two overs and an under. For overs, I'm looking at Leicester v Brentford. It's at 1.57, not really overpriced, but I can see both teams scoring. Neither is very good defensively. Only teams 16 and lower have conceded more than Brentford, actually. So there's definitely opportunity there for someone like Vardy or El Canus. So this one over 2.5. Another one for over 2.5, I'm going with City v Liverpool. It's at
Mhm.
1.44. It's good value for a medium ACA. Um, all of City's last 10 games in all competitions saw three or more goals scored, and Liverpool's on 7 out of 10 in this metric. I think the game will be a bit more open than some of the more recent ones, with both teams needing points, but for different reasons, for a change. And I mentioned I have an under as well, and I'm looking at Villa v Chelsea for that. But I'm
Hmm?
looking at under 3.5 just to be on the safe
Okay.
side. It's at 1.61. Both teams are unconvincing going forward of late, and that's why I think this is the way to go for this one.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. Ironically, my first over 2.5 pick is Villa v Chelsea. I don't know. I think both teams they might be struggling in front of goal, but my problem here is the defense. Both teams are quite leaky at the back, and I think both teams could get the better of each other, and like they could definitely score, and maybe one side could outscore the other, and we could see over 2.5 goals or something. Actually, for the under, I'm sort of just going with Everton United. I don't know why. I feel like this is a game where Everton will just feel like we'll take the point. We'll happily take the point based on our recent results. We're not going to play out too much. If we get the odd chance here and there, we'll take it, but we are not going to be too adventurous. So I don't know, under 2.5 for me. And Arsenal West Ham, I'm going with under 3.5 goals. I mean, for the reasons you gave, Arsenal are blunt in attack. West Ham are not the best either. So I'm not really expecting anything too explosive. I mean, going by Arsenal's last game, they literally depended on Merino to come in and save the day. So I'm not really expecting fireworks in front of goal.
Yeah.
And for City Liverpool, I'm actually going with over 3.5 goals. I think that game is going to be very, very open. And I don't know which side it's going to be, but I know one side will blow the other side away. I just don't know who is going to be, but one team would definitely blow the other team away. And if there's one thing we've seen about City's defense lately is that it is very leaky and anybody can score them these days. So how much more a Mohamed Salah that is on top form at the moment. So yeah, that's it for me. And moving on, I think we got most of this last time, so I would like that we get them this time again. Best player to score tips.
Yeah, we were quite successful with this. I think I had Wisa to score, and he had a goal chalked off. That one was the
Yeah.
only
Hmm.
one he didn't get. I'm going with Brentford again, but I'm going with Mbumo. He's on 2.60. I feel like we're overdue a big performance from him, and Leicester are definitely there for the taking. Another one is Isak for Newcastle. He's at 2.20. He's been uncharacteristically quiet against Fulham and against City. So I kind of expect him to spring back into action, have a proper go at the Forest defense. It's worth keeping in mind also that Murillo and Milenkovic, they haven't been as solid of late anymore. And it's also worth noting that Isak scored and assisted against Forest in their game in November. And I do
Hmm.
have a third one, also kind of based on previous head-to-head, Justin Kluivert for Bournemouth. He's the designated penalty taker for his team, and there's history there. In the reverse game at the end of November, Wolves conceded three penalties. All of them were put away by Kluivert. Wolves also have the highest number of conceded penalties in the league. Nobody's conceded seven like them. I'm backing him to score, penalty or not, and he's on 3.00 odds.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I think that makes sense. For me, I'm going with Watkins once again. I went with him last time against Ipswich, if I remember correctly, and he scored. He even scored against Liverpool in midweek as well. So I think
Yeah.
he's in good. He has some good confidence at the moment, and a leaky Chelsea defense. I think is probably going to get a goal, as well. And I'm also going with Madison against
Hmm.
Ipswich. Yeah, Ipswich are just terrible at the park, and Madison likes to, go in those advanced positions. So I think he could get something on his plate as well. I'm also going with Salah. I think Either he's going to score from a penalty, either he's going to score from a looping shot, a volley, something. I just think he's going to find his name on the score sheet against City. I really can't see how City will keep him quiet. But yeah, I think Salah is going to get a goal as well. And the obvious one too as well. I want to go with Isak, but I don't know against Nottingham Forest. It's looking tricky for me. So I'll just go with Arsenal. I'll go with Arsenal, and this is going to be a bold one because I don't fully believe it. But yeah, I think this is a game for Trossard to get a goal on the score sheet. I think this is a game for Trossard to get something, and I'll be looking forward to that. Watkins, Trossard, Salah, and Madison. I'll be looking forward to those guys scoring. So yeah,
Yeah.
moving up, moving on before we wrap up this prediction show. Do you have any same game tips in
Yeah,
mind?
I actually have a builder for the headline game for City v Liverpool.
Yeah, okay.
I think we should include BTTS 1.36 for
Yeah.
reasons we've talked about already. For Salah, over 1.5 shots on target, which I
Mm.
feel is way overpriced with 365. So the odds for Salah over 1.5 on target, it's 2.75.
Wow.
It's definitely worth including. Yeah, he averages 1.61 shots on target in the Prem per 90 this season. He almost always shows up in big games. So this one, leave it out at your own risk. Lastly, cards. This is a bit of a safety net, rather. Each team to receive one or more cards. Odds are 1.16. It's not huge, but it adds a bit of value to the builder. It happened in 9 of the last 10 head-to-heads, which is pretty significant. So overall, we're looking at a 4.33 builder. So I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that's it for us on our prediction show. We've had some very, very solid picks, actually pretty insightful. And I think I'm going to be borrowing some of your tips, Victor, because they look rather solid to me. And yeah, we'll be
Right.
doing we'll be doing more of this, of course, until the end of the season, and people can just pick up their best, beats, their best predictions, best selections, and use them how you want to use them, of course. We're going to be doing this every week ahead of every game week, and we just hope you
Let's
stay with
go
us.
out with a bang on this one. I know you love something bold, right? I've got two bits
Yeah.
for you. One
Okay.
of
Yeah.
them,
So yeah, just give us your bold one.
yeah,
Finally.
Fulham to score over 1.5 goals against Palace. It's at exactly
Mm,
2 odds,
mm,
and they've scored 2 or more goals in 9 of their last 10 games. And
mm,
one more for team goals, and this one, something inside me loves it somehow. Um, I think Everton scores at least twice.
mm.
So
Now that's a bold one.
Everton over 1.5 goals against United. It's at 2.62. I think it's worth a punt.
Well, that's interesting. For me, it's not really bold. But given Arsenal's current striker situation, it is rather bold, and the odds at 2.80 says that Arsenal to score in both halves.
Oh,
Arsenal
wow.
to score a goal in both halves. Yeah, on a normal day, it's not supposed to be bold, but yeah, given the current situation, it's rather bold. And but I think Arsenal can score in both halves, maybe. I also think Bournemouth to score at least 3 goals. Bournemouth to score at least 3 goals against Wolves. So those are my two bold picks
Yeah.
for the week. Yeah, of course. That's all we have for this show. It's been exciting, it's been insightful, and let's hope they are accurate as well when we discuss our next edition next week.